Whether it's the real world or new world, time is money. VannKraken here, and in this episode of Aeternum Academy 30-Minute Mats, our favorite Restless Shore to Mourningdale gathering run will make it rain valuable materials that will put 1,500 to 2,000 gold in our bank and build valuable trade skills in just half an hour of playtime. While some of us would rather be knocking heads in PvP than harvesting beautifully modeled plant and animal life, let it be known that we are literally leaving gold lying on the ground when we pass the bountiful resources of Aeternum by. And the Restless Shore to Mourningdale run is far and away our favorite for delivering tons of hemp fiber, silk threads, and even some wire fiber in one concentrated area, which are required to make valuable fabrics like silk, infused silk, and legendary phoenix weave. It's also chock full of animals that offer a bounty of thick hide, a key component of the higher tier leathers we'll need to combine with the fancy cloth we just mentioned, and iron ingots to craft high quality items that speed our armoring experience level from 100 to 200. And if we are pursuing Arcana, there is an endless supply of herb nodes available that primarily yield hyssop, the main component of alkahest, which combines with other ingredients to make the base for health, mana, or regeneration potions that rapidly drive both trade skill and territory XP gains simultaneously. But if all this crafting mumbo-jumbo isn't your thing, maybe we can just entice you with the fact that a short 30-minute harvesting run for these valuable raw ingredients and a tiny bit more time to refine them can earn you a quick 1,500 to 2,000 gold or more at the trading post for your trouble too. Before we head out on our run, let's quickly divulge some trade secrets, including the fact that we'll be leaving a lot more mats and money on the table if we don't stop to equip our character with at least a couple of these 5 things. 1. The highest level gathering tools our character can slot. 2. A time-saving ranged weapon for drawing in predators or taking down evasive herd animals at a distance. 3. Buffs from either music, trade, skill food, or a trophy to bump up gathering speed, yield, or luck. 4. Whatever available harvesting or skinning bonus gear we have available. And 5. The option of toggling our PvP flag for an additional gathering boost. The route itself is honestly a pretty poorly kept secret that consists of a large swath of hills and open plains that can be run end to end or in a loop, and is accessed by teleporting either to the Shrine of Sisyphus in northern Restless Shore or the Mourningdale capital. We start out by grabbing our music buff for gathering speed and starting our timer in the route's southern zone in Restless Shore. Then leave the fast travel shrine to gather herbs, tons of non-smokable hemp fibers, and some spine cap along the side of the road's path to the west. A turn north along the Sunshade Plains allows for collecting a variety of motes and more hemp, slaying wolves that provide thick hide, or mining iron or star metal along the rocky edges until we come upon our first beautiful blue silkweed nodes, the focal point of this run. If our harvesting level is less than 100, it's really important to grab all the hemp and herbs in sight to get that skill over the century mark as soon as we can. Because as we hit the middle zone, starting out at the border of Mourningdale northward, the fields of hemp that are so dense in the south offer more and more silkweed. Silkweed is literally blue gold, driving weaving and armoring XP scores like nobody's business and offering the key component of higher tier cloth that sells for awesome prices or crafts the best armor pieces. But unfortunately, our competition knows this too, so it's best to follow a defined strategy for harvesting success. We'll make collecting silkweed an active game by using our bow haste buffs constantly to counter opposing players trying to beat us to the blue bushes using burnout with fire staffs or rapiers fléchés. And we'll also avoid following too closely behind the paths of others, either heading a different way or doubling back and retracing our path to hit respawning nodes. The middle flooded plains section of the run also offers numerous cats which can be lured in with our projectiles, and bigger herds of gentle buffalo. We'll get mad, bolt off, and then try to treat us like a rodeo clown without a barrel if we are slow on the draw. Rapid shot on the bow or shooter stance on the musket when it's not bugged or disabled by AGS for being OP work really well to take Tatankas down quickly. The yield of thick hide and red meat is tremendous from these critters and is usually plentiful even when other players are around. So we'll often just rotate between hide and fibers, meaning if the hemp and silkweed have not spawned, we'll hunt and skin and harvest herbs for hyssop and cooking until they reappear. On a side note, the plentiful rabbit population in this area has a chance of yielding sumptuous rabbit meat that is worth 90 gold each, or can be used to make 40-point con or other of the best attribute foods, so it's worth taking the time to catch a few fuzzballs too. And finally, in the middle of the ruins of Marsik in the central zone, there is a chest and a generous stand of wire fiber that unlocks at harvesting level 150, with the spot easily checked and reached through a gap in the stones on the northwestern side of the temple. In the remaining northern zone that lies between the ruins of Karaka and the Mourningdale capital itself, fields of hemp and silkweed still abound, in addition to a stand of weirdwood trees and nodes of iron, star metal, and orichalcum on the ridge to the northeast. Further north still, we'll encounter gators, more cats, and fire motes, in addition to some silver nodes and yet more silkweed guarded by decidedly angry rainbow pigs in the stream bed just south of the city. There's so much stuff to harvest, skin, and mine here that time always goes by in a flash, so you might not even get this far north before 30 minutes are up. We can either head back to the Shrine of Sisyphus or simply run into the Mourningdale capital to refine and craft, or cash in our goods with 3 distinct market and crafting options. We did 6 runs for science with a mix of servers and different times of day, and the typical amounts of the key mats in our bags equaled about 1,360 hemp fibers, 870 silk threads, 270 wire fiber, 580 thick hide, and 200 hyssop, in addition to a variety of other items of varying value we won't consider here for simplicity's sake. Cashing in option 1 is a skip the refining and sell everything we gather approach, which earns a healthy 1,500 gold on average at the trading post after taxes for liquidating our basket of these 5 raw material items on a typical run. In our best 30-minute foray, which exceeded the others due to very little competition for resources, brought in nearly 2,000 gold. To maximize our profit, keep in mind that we can quick sell an item immediately by filling a buy order when its buy and sell prices are very close together, which is often the case for high turnover items like hyssop, motes, meats, etc. But if we have a little patience and list items when the buy and sell price spread is wider, as is the usual for higher value items like silk, infused silk, or thick hide, we can usually make quite a bit more coin by listing just below the lowest current asking price. Cashing in option 2 is to take only a few extra minutes to refine just our cloth mats, to bump up our weaving skill experience before marketing the finished products, and then just quick sell or list the thick hide, hyssop, and any leftover fibers, silk threads, or wire fiber. As we can see from the listing of value by tier, finished goods jump in price as we get our gathering and refining skills leveled up, so we can ultimately make the most possible gold per piece by working up to legendary level phoenix weave or runic leather, which have the loftiest price tags at the trading post. But the most interesting thing about option 2 is that no matter what level our weaving skill is, we earn a stable 1,900 gold or better at each level break from refining either linen, sateen, silk, or infused silk to sell along with the leftover fibers, thick hide, and hyssop we collected during our best 30-minute mat run. So the key takeaway is to refine our fibers no matter what our weaving level is, as we can earn just as much gold as selling our mats outright and gain a significant amount of refining experience to push us toward level 200, where we can make the highest value legendary phoenix weave or even sell its crafting cooldown outright. And finally, cashing in option 3 is to simply not cash in for gold and skill up instead by putting all the mats we've collected into refining and trade skill experience, including banking any goods we can't immediately refine now for later use. In this example, at the end of our best run, we take some iron and rawhide from storage and combine it with the hemp fibers we collected to make a variety of clothing items at the outfitter station, which pushes our armoring skill from level 1 to 35 in one fell swoop. And then we drop by the Arcane repository to use the hyssop we collected to make Alkahest that levels both our Arcana skill and Mourningdale territory standing too. So in summary, we can harvest 1,500 gold or better worth of raw materials in only 30 minutes on the awesome Restless Shore to Mourningdale run under most conditions to simply make fast cash, boost valuable armoring or arcana trade skill levels, or do both at once depending on the option that we choose. I hope we've convinced you to put on some music or YouTube videos and go crazy with some short bursts of gathering, refining, and selling. Whether you set a little bit of time aside or just knock this out while you're waiting for an OPR to pop, you won't regret it. Since you are here, check out our video in the corner above to learn all about elite chest runs, a spontaneous group activity which can also boost your gold balance, expertise, and gear score tremendously, even as a solo player. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, or to join us for a live stream here on YouTube or on Twitch. Thank you for watching Aeternum Academy, and hope you don't neglect the value of gathering in your overall game. This is VannKraken, and I am out.